Australians were on the edge of their seats with tears in their eyes as they watched Australia's greatest ever basketballer put on one last masterclass at the FIBA World Cup. Despite playing just 3 minutes in the previous night's semi-final loss to China, Lauren Jackson wound back the clock in the bronze medal match against Canada to score 30 points, pull down 7 rebounds, and lift her country to a thumping 30-point win. Watch the video above. Lauren Jackson given standing ovation. Watch the latest sport on Channel 7 or stream for free on 7+. Jackson's third quarter had shades of her WNBA MVP winning best as she thrilled fans for one last time. And with the clock winding down, there wasn't a dry eye in the stadium as Jackson sunk 2 free throws to become the greatest scorer in the history of FIBA Women's World Cup medal matches, before being subbed out for the final 2 minutes of the game. She received a standing ovation from the almost 10,000-strong crowd in Sydney after a performance for the ages. There was just one problem: most viewers watching the game around Australia didn't get to see it. Host broadcaster ESPN had a technical failure that saw the feed of the game cut out. "We apologize for the issues on the Foxtel broadcast at the end of the Opals game," ESPN Australia and NZ tweeted shortly after the game. "We are investigating the issue. The broadcast is continuing uninterrupted via KO in the e-app." Fans were quick to express their displeasure at the stuff up. Loading tweet. Jackson confirmed just hours before tip-off her Opals comeback would conclude after the World Cup, where she played all 8 games for Australia following an absence of 9 years from the national team. Following a second-half rampage that helped her finish with 30 points, the second highest tally for anyone in a single game this World Cup, Jackson left Australian fans to wonder whether she might reconsider her retirement. Coach Sandy Brondello had alluded to the fact Australia's bench would play a big role in the bronze medal tie, which took place just 16 hours after their semi-final loss. But even the coach would not have been able to foresee just how pivotal her 41-year-old former teammate would be. Her first points, a jump shot, sparked an 8-0 Australian run that helped the home side quash Canada's early dominance. Across the board, Australia shook off the shooting woes that thwarted them in the tight semi-final loss to China. Australia's best player across the World Cup, Steph Talbot, was the chief architect as the home side maintained their lead in the second quarter. Talbot had 11 points for the period, including a clutch three-pointer in the final seconds, to go with some trademark defensive efforts as the Australians took an 8-point lead into the main change. Canada's Kia Nurse contributed almost half of Canada's first half points, 19 of 43, with a versatile shooting display that made it easy to forget the World Cup had marked her return from an 11-month ACL injury layoff. With Canada still very much in the game after halftime, Nurse left the court after 2 fouls in quick succession and Australia needed to capitalize on her absence. The majority of Australia's best players were coming off big minutes in Friday night's semi-final, so the Opals found a hero in their greatest player of all time, who only made a cameo against China. Jackson's points this tournament have come almost exclusively from beyond the arc. Loading tweet. But in the third quarter, she came alive in the paint and finished the third quarter with 13 points as Australia stretched out to what was ultimately a game-winning lead. Her 7 rebounds and 2 steals were personal bests for the tournament, and when she kept her hot form up in the final quarter, the Australians were home. Jackson's surge coincided with a downturn in Nurse's form. The Canadian failed to score after halftime, and with their biggest strike weapon neutralized, Canada were never a threat to pull off a late comeback. Jackson left the court to a standing ovation in the final 3 minutes as the greatest basketball career Australia has ever seen officially came to an end. With Op.